And we're back.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. A week goes by and you feel like
no time has passed whatsoever.
And yet that time has passed.
That's really weird. I wonder if what we're going to talk about this week has anything to do with time.
I hope not.
Did you put anything on a piece of paper that said time?
I don't.
A measurement of time?
Well, we did talk about something akin to time and time travel in the past.
In the past.
I don't think we should retread that ground, do you?
Let's not do that. No. Let's not do that. So here we are. The question is, for this week, what the heck are we going to talk about?
Well, let's back up. How are you guys doing? Everything good? Did you have a good week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but we have to get everybody ready for the amazing theme song.
It's true. Yeah. By the way, I love that theme song.
Oh, it's so good.
Well, thank you very much.
Ben wrote that theme song.
Yeah, I'll take a little bit of credit for it.
Should we hear the theme song?
Let's do it.
Okay, here it is. Last week we were saying that it would be great to have an hour and a half of that music.
I can't do that.
You can't do it.
I'm busy doing this.
But you've been kind of ever since, would you say that ever since we hired you for no money whatsoever to do the theme song, that you found a newfound love for all that is GarageBand composing?
Oh, absolutely. I'm now addicted to it. I think it is the greatest app. I love all the plugins. I love all the loops and beats, and I love the fact that when I plug my guitar in, I've got so many different sound options. So GarageBand, if you're listening, we would love an endorsement.
I think I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
My prediction is this. When Ben works from here on out on any scripted project, he's going to lead with the music. He's going to think about the music he's going to do.
That's a good idea.
He's going to score it as himself if he actually, you know what I mean?
Like a theme song for a pitch?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that? You've walked into a room and said, first played the theme song and then done the pitch?
No, but maybe I will.
I think it's a good idea.
I mean, everybody's the pitch decks are kind of out of control at this point. But nobody's
coming in with music.
Nobody's coming with a theme song for the pitch.
But here's what I'd say. I look at probably 15 decks a week, right? Yeah. And I do appreciate when someone comes in with something that's a little jazzy. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I mean?
Like a really well done pitch deck, you mean?
100%. If they got some visual aids, they've got sizzles. Obviously, they've got some. They've actually thought it out. They come in with a little bit of production.
Yeah,
I appreciate that because what it does tell me is they can actually deliver. They can execute. They can actually, So I do think I think a little theme song could be nice.
Wouldn't you you would talk about that? You would tell that story to everybody if somebody came in with a theme song for the pitch.
100%.
That's a free idea, I guess.
You better hope they like the music.
It just makes an impact, I think it's good.
Yeah.
All right. To be considered.
And now you know how to do it.
All right. That's right. That's true. And as we're thinking about that, let's maybe get to our topic of the day.
Segue. I'm holding in my hands, what am I calling it?
It's the popcorn bowl.
It's the popcorn bowl. I don't know where it's been manufactured, what country it was made in.
It says popcorn on the outside, yet it is distinctly not a bowl for popcorn. So.
It's cool to the touch. It feels like it wasn't made in a factory.
Ceramic.
I feel like people made it with their own hands, their blood, sweat, and tears.
A potter made it.
Perhaps a potter. Not of the J.K. Rowling kind.
No, but maybe of the Demi Moore, Patrick Swayze ghost kind.
I don't know if I want to hold the dish if it was made in that scenario.
All right.
I just want to know that they made the dish because that's what they want. The bowl they wanted to make for the bowl, and not as a part of another physical, intimate moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, as you can see, we're going off on a bit of a tangent about this bowl here.
First
that's what we do
of the show.
Yeah.
First tangent.
There will be more. Get ready. Buckle up.
So for folks who. And we said this last week, why you're starting on episode 103, I have no idea. But if this is your first time with us.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Oh, that was nice. I wasn't even going to thank them. That was sincere. If you're the nice one, what's Mitch?
Well, I'd state the obvious, but I'm not going to.
No, the truth is... No,
you know what? You know what? If you listen to 102, you know exactly who I am.
No, the truth is Mitch is the nice one. That is the truth.
But if it's
Two of us are rapscallions.
Perhaps. Rapscallions. Whirling dervishes. If this is your first time with us, the concept is clear and simple. Each week, we write a bunch of topics on little pieces of paper. Nobody sees them until one of us reaches into that popcorn bowl as manufactured outside of this country during some kind of an intimate moment of pottery.
Possibly between Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze.
Perhaps, back in the day. And we will talk about that topic. And that's what is happening right now as I reach into the bowl.
I have a feeling this is going to be one of mine. I do.
I'm going deep.
So far, it's been 2-1 against that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going deep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I've got it.
Oh my God, this is so exciting.
The tension is killing me.
The good news is it isn't my handwriting.
Oh God, it's mine again. Isn't it?
It's been.
Hold on, I got to actually put on my glasses. I don't know who writes like this. Okay, the topic for this week is high school glory days.
That's another one of mine.
Damn, high school glory days.
The first one was Paul's.
What are you thinking? What were you thinking about this, Ben, when you wrote down high school glory days?
Apropos of discovering GarageBand and trying to want to compose music. When I was in high school, my friends and I started a band, and it's something that kind of culminated in our senior year, and we got to play at our high school battle of the bands, and that was a real high moment. It's something just because we said we wanted to do it. We figured out how to make it happen. We made it happen, and we got to enjoy it. And that was a really satisfying part of high school, and probably my most satisfying part of high school.
Do I have this right? Were you the lead singer?
No, I was not.
What did you play the guitar?
I played guitar, yeah. My friend Alan was the lead singer and the keyboardist. My friend Jeremy was the bassist, and my friend Adam was the drummer.
And what was the name of the band?
The band was called Arena.
Arena?
We even made a banner which hung off the stage when we performed.
And if you had to liken Arena to a band that is performing today, who would you say they were? Who were you like?
We weren't like anybody because we were not as good as all those bands that we aspired to be like. So, let's be honest about that.
Who did you aspire to be like?
Well, I mean, I'm a Rush fan, so that was high up there. And we played some Rush, we played some Pink Floyd, we played some Kinks, we played some Genesis. As well as 17-year-old kids who are not musically trained could do.
Did you attempt to play Tom Sawyer?
We actually did at a USY putting on the hits night.
Well, tell us more.
USY is United Synagogue Youth.
Oh,
and it's sort of a Jewish organization that has these little sort of inter-synagogue events.
Oh wait, what's the word?
USY?
No, you said synagogue?
Synagogue.
Oh, I thought you said
synagogue events.
Oh, I thought you said synagogue.
I did too.
Yeah.
No,
but synagogue.
It's not synagogue adjacent. It's straight up.
Like if you were saying like, oh, that was kind of really felt synagogue-y to me.
No.
Like you don't do that.
No, it was not that.
Okay. Right.
So we performed music in between the lip syncing competition. Anybody remember Putting on the Hits? It was a TV show of the 80s.
I do remember.
I remember Putting on the Ritz.
Putting on the Hits was a lip syncing competition show on national television.
But this event had nothing to do with that, except it was just inspired by it.
It was inspired by that,
okay.
And so we were sort of the house band playing to entertain the youths in between their performances.
Wait, hold on.
So yes, we did play Tom Sawyer poorly.
Putting on the Hits was a lip syncing national broadcast.
Putting on the Hits.
Putting on the Hits.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember
Put on the
Putting
Ritz
on
was
the Ritz. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Putting on the Ritz.
But I don't remember.
It's Young Frankenstein.
Right. That's right.
Peter Boyle.
That is right.
Young Frankenstein.
That's good. Can you do it one more time? So now that I'm prepared for it.
No.
Okay.
I'm kind of regretting doing it.
I was like, that was an old man singing something. I don't know what it was.
Putting on the Hits. I don't think I actually remember that.
Yeah, there was a host and everything, and this is a fever dream that I had.
I know.
It never actually.
No, I think it was a show.
Lip syncing. That's crazy.
I don't remember the
So
lip
it was
syncing.
TikTok before on television, and they realized, you know what, nobody wants to watch this.
That's it.
Cut to 2023.
TikTok on television. Okay. So if you were given the chance to pick one 24-hour period during high school, would this be the moment you go back to?
Yeah, I think I would. I think that was probably some of the most fun, if not the most fun I had in high school. Was that show? I mean, it's funny because there were 4 bands scheduled to perform, and there were a lot of other bands. And this is the era of hair metal, and we had a lot of hair metal guys in our high school. A lot of shredders who all wanted to be the main act. They all saw themselves as the headline act. And, they're like, nobody wanted to go first. And we're like, oh, fuck it, we'll go first. Because, no one's going to stick around for this. We figured, the most people that are going to show up are going to show up at the beginning.
Yeah,
They're not looking at this like this is a concert. They're looking at this as like a school event. That they're going to, they want to go enjoy their Friday night. So we went up first and we got to play, and it was really cool. One of the bass players from another band, this guy Tony Saraceni, he was kind enough to let me use his he had a wireless unit, which back in 1987 was like super high tech. So like,
what does that mean? His wireless unit?
So it was basically a pack that you sort of strapped to your guitar, like you plugged your guitar into the wireless unit, and then the wireless unit plugged into it's basically a transmitter that sent a signal to the one that you plugged into your amp. So he had one of those, and he let me use it, and I got to sort of, jump off the stage, go into the audience, up and down the aisles. It was pretty fun.
How many songs did you play?
Maybe 8 or 9 songs.
Wow. That's a
We
real
played
set.
about 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's a real set.
Yeah.
And when you got off stage, did people rush you? Like, were
No.
people talking about it the weeks to follow?
I mean, no.
So
Probably not.
So was
It didn't have a great impact on them as it did us. But
So you loved it. That's a moment
Yes.
because you just being on stage, playing the music.
Yeah.
It was just
and I was with my friends, and I think that was sort of the sweetest part of it. Is like, we got to play songs we liked. We wrote a couple of songs ourselves. One was an instrumental that my friend Alan composed, and another one was a song I actually wrote terrible lyrics for.
What's the chorus of that song?
Oddly, it's an instrumental chorus because we couldn't figure out good enough lyrics. Honestly,
So wait.
someone who's a professional writer, the last thing I want to write are lyrics.
Can you remember any of the lines?
I do, and I'm not going to repeat them.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
It's very telling.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible.
You can't just give us one line, one terrible line.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
We'll find the video. It's got to be a video.
Did somebody film it?
Yes, actually, I did put the video. It was on YouTube at one point,
Oh.
but I don't know if it's still there.
Cut to it.
It's very the lighting's terrible. My friend had a camera, like a basic 1987 VHS camera that did not have a light. They didn't turn on the spotlights until like midway through the set. It was kind of a mess, but yeah. So it starts out very dark, but then you can sort of see us, and it's
So if I just search arena,
yeah, you probably won't find it.
arena synagogue, I'll find it.
No. That's very we did not film the putting on the hits night.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Okay.
So, anyway, so that's because I wasn't an athlete. I wasn't a football player, baseball player, basketball. I didn't do any of that in high school. This was sort of, my high school glory day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then, Mitch, what's yours?
What's yours?
Your 24-hour period, you go back to high school, relive a moment from the glory days.
That's a tough one. I mean, I played sports. I played football. You know what? I'll be honest with you. It's I don't know if it's the epitome of my high school career, but I stopped playing football my junior year, and then I started playing golf, and I actually made the team for one day. And
Why just one day?
One day, because you have to make cut. Like you have to make the cut. And
You made which team for one day?
I made the golf team.
The golf team.
Yeah, I shot unbelievable. Like
Okay.
I shot out of my mind, and I made the team. And the next day was the actual, like you have to, it's like basically you have to make the cut in practice, and then if you make it, you play in the match the next day. Went to the next day, go to the match, bombed out. The coach was like, "Never again."
That's it. They never let you play.
Never
again?
played again. No, I
man.
literally sat on the bench the entire rest of the season. So,
Do you remember going home that night after you made the team?
Oh yeah, I told my dad. My dad was like, "Oh my God, way to go!" And then like I went there the next day, and I was like, "That was not good. I should get back to football."
Did you go back to football?
I did not go back to football.
Oh.
I did not go back to football. I had fun in high school though. I grew up in Myrtle Beach, and I surfed all the time, and like it was, so I stopped playing sports like my junior year, and then I just sort of had fun. So, that was a proud moment.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a weird moment, but I don't know. I have to think about that in terms of if there's anything else that sort of stands out. But yeah, that's
All right.
it. Yeah. How about you? Weren't you like a DJ in high school?
So it's funny. So my high school had a radio station, and I was president. I ran the station, and usually if you were the person in charge of the radio station, every year we did a thing called the DJ Marathon, where you ultimately end up being the person in charge who had to do it, where you would try to DJ as long as possible without going to sleep. And everybody in the club would get people to donate money. You would say, I'll give 10 cents for every hour Paul stays awake. So the record was 50 hours. So I had to stay up for 50. I had to try to stay up for 50 hours. So we at least made enough money to fund the next year of the club. And I would go back and do it because I feel like I quit too early. I got like to 48 hours.
Wow.
And it was, but here's the thing you got to know about this. Like, everyone gets very excited when it starts. So, like, you're there for, like, the first day, and people are bringing you, like, sandwiches and food, and they brought video games, and you're playing shit. And then you get to, like, the 30 or 40th hour, and nobody's showing up. So you're, like, sitting there by yourself in this studio, and you're so tired. And, you know, I had done some research, and I was worried because there are people that say that if you stay up for too long, you can basically screw with your entire physiological makeup.
Right.
Like, people go insane. There was a story of this DJ who stayed up, I think, like a professional DJ for 60 or 70 hours. And then they used to say, like, you used to find him wandering naked, like, through towns. Like, the guy had gone completely insane. Cause
you don't think he was predisposed to that?
No, your body needs sleep. So anyways, I was worried about that too. I was worried, like, am I going to fuck up my whole brain by staying up too late? And then when there's nobody there and you're by yourself.
Let me ask you this. If you didn't know that piece of information, could you have done that? I
was so damn tired. I remember I picked up the phone and I called the vice president of the station, and she was asleep. It was like 3 a.m, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And she's like, you gotta keep. She's like, you got.
Wait. So this was like a high school station.
High school station. Yeah.
But like, so you couldn't just walk out. Like, you had to keep going.
Well, it wasn't like during high school, like, hours.
Got it.
This is like, usually the week we picked was like a vacation week or something. I don't remember, but but it was a club. But we happened to have a radio station that reached, you know, tons of people over the, you know, the area of the Bay Area where I grew up. But it gets lonely. You're by yourself. You're falling asleep. So badly you just have to close your eyes. But I felt so much pressure about it. But I would go back and try to. It was really fun until it was really horrible. And I remember I called her up and I was like, I gotta go to bed. And she's like, you have to stay up. Like, it's 48 hours. Like, you gotta keep going. And I was like, I remember I was in like a closet on the phone and I was like, I gotta go to bed.
What were you spinning?
I mean, it was all vinyl. What was cool was, like, that station, we got all the promotional stuff. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget. We got the Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction album cover that was the one that they banned. It had like a girl on the street, like a robot had kind of tried, which of course somebody stole because they realized it was worth a lot. But you know, we're talking like, you know, like the late 80s. So think about all this, the 7-inch, 12-inch, you know, indie rock and the, you know, all that, you know, the stuff I'm talking about. But anyway, so I got on the phone with her and she was like, oh God, she was like, just fucking go home then. Like, she was sick of me, like, complaining at like 3 a.m. that I couldn't do it anymore. And then I went home and I couldn't fall asleep for like 4 hours. I'm like, lying awake in bed. I could have gotten more hours. So it was both frustrating, but also it was fun to be doing this thing.
Yeah.
That I knew people. And the funny thing was, you didn't think anybody was really listening. And the minute I quit, people were like, well, he quit at 48 hours. Like, everybody had been listening. They just hadn't been calling in.
If I grew up in the Bay Area, I could listen to the station all the time?
Yeah. It was we had a scheduled through the entire school day. So every day from people had their periods of the day. You have one of your hours is for radio.
That's really cool.
And you do a show for an hour while other people are in class. And so we would run from like 9 to 10. The people who were staff of the station had the last hour of the show on any given weekday, not on the weekend. So it was just during the week. It was awesome. It was super fun.
Pump up the volume.
Yeah, but just maybe not as vulgar or not in you know, starting riots in the local town.
Right. Were there any kids that were like, you know, took advantage of the fact that, like, I've got a microphone and I'm going to use it? I
was trying to figure out, like, was there like what is the governing body of the radio? It's like the FCC or whatever. Like, is there like, was there anything that sort of controlled what you guys were saying, the message you were putting out?
No, but I mean, if we were listening and recording everybody's shows, so that as the leadership of the station, if people were being crazy or, you know, you couldn't curse on the air because everybody got their FCC license to be able to be a DJ. I mean,
Got
it
it.
was like some laminated card that they send you in the mail. But
Were you required to put out any kind of messaging? Like, was there any?
I mean, every hour on the hour, you had to do the call letters.
Remember how to
Right?
do-
It was KCEQ 101.7 FM.
Oh, is it still there?
It's not there anymore.
No.
Do you know if anybody took that sort of experience and transitioned into like TV or radio or anything? Any of
I
those?
think there were some people that went from there. I don't remember some of I know that some people went on to do some ESPN stuff and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. You wonder how many people are doing podcasts now who started at that radio station. I only know of about one at the moment.
Do you
but
think one of them might be listening right now?
perhaps
Who do
listening.
you think it would be? Of all the people involved back then, who would be the one?
No, I was talking about me.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
there
the
it
I'm
is.
the one.
Yeah.
I'm the one. I don't think
there's no one else.
I was with you. I was with you. I was totally with you.
Mitch got it. Mitch got it.
Did I miss something?
You missed it. He was talking about himself. Yeah.
I understand, but what I'm saying is like, but maybe you're not the only one. Is what I'm saying.
No, I
What
guess
if?
we'll
I'm
find out.
positing a what if here.
I see. Yes.
Well,
see, you don't
there's an
go
easy
on.
way to
Yeah,
find out. If you were listening to this podcast and you actually used to listen to or were a part of my high school radio club,
But my
You can let
question
us
is,
know.
are they actually doing this as well right now? Like, yes, you're doing it, but
Sure.
did they do it as well? Who was most if the senior superlative? Who is most likely?
the senior what?
Senior superlative.
What's that?
Something that like schools that had like
Superlative?
popularity contests and stuff like that have like
Is that like best hair?
yes,
Yeah.
Oh.
yes. I didn't have that in my high school,
I don't know that I had that in my high
but
school.
it seems like it's a thing in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah, we had it.
You had it? Was it what? They like print? People
like most
voted?
athletic, like
Best dressed. Tracy won best dressed. My wife won best dressed,
But
and
what-
so did my daughter. Sophia won best dressed.
That is really.
Senior year, yeah.
We didn't
Even though
have
she
that.
broke every dress code rule of her school, she won best dressed.
Did you have something, Mitch?
I didn't win anything.
No.
But
They
I mean,
didn't. They didn't have like golf, varsity golf
Well,
for 24 hours.
No, they did not have that. You know.
Shortest
You know what?
span on the golf team.
Most John Carpenter movies watched.
I mean, I was
without
gonna-
memory.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I think my buddy, my best friend Ted, who I think you know.
Yes.
I don't know if you know Ted.
I don't know.
Ted, who lives out here, who I grew up with. He was. I think he won most handsome. I think he did. So yeah, that was fun hanging out with him all the time. That was great. That was really good.
Did it have an impact on him and his popularity?
No, because he already knew exactly who he was.
Okay.
He knew he was handsome.
He was already
Yeah.
he was already living the most
I don't.
handsome.
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
need a yearbook to tell me that.
Yeah.
But that's actually really cool that they had that. Like I was trying to think,
It was
like,
awesome.
yeah, I mean to have that type of training at that age, and also just it's like we always say, like to be able to like when your kids can sort of get up and learn how to give a speech or sort of like sort of learn how to sort of form a thought. I mean that's actually really
I love it when my kids learn how to
Yeah,
form
I
a
mean,
thought.
pretty good.
They have that class.
Yeah.
Form a thought.
Yeah, form a
Class.
thought. It's pretty good.
Can you form a thought? Yes, you get an A.
Yeah.
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 No, and what was cool was
I
we
might
had
struggle in that class.
Imagine any of our kids doing what Paul did. I was trying to think of Owen or Macy. I was like, I don't know.
well at my daughter's school they have DJing class, not DJing like DJing on a radio station,
Right.
but actually mixing.
Mixing.
Like
They
there's
got decks.
they have a full on mixing decks, and people are learning. They have a TV. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
kind of
It's very
insane.
LA.
It's very
I
LA.
think-
The stuff that they have going on
I think
there.
we should I think we should let our kids do it one time. See what happens. That'd be pretty fun.
I'm
Daniel could do it.
maybe you got to get him going though. I
Yeah.
think he'd struggle at first, and then he'd hop in and he'd lock onto something, and then he would keep going.
Well, we had that one conversation with him once about just like he was saying there were no good movies. What was that thing that your son was saying? Remember, like
pardon the dead air.
the no good movies now, like or
No, it was music, wasn't it?
was it music?
No,
I don't
trust
know.
his taste in music, but no, I know he does have very strong opinions when it comes to movies. Part of it comes from the fact that a couple of years ago I showed him The Usual Suspects.
Oh, that's it.
And that movie, the twist of that movie just kind of blew his little mind. And from that point on, if movies can't pass the Usual Suspects test, then they're not worth watching. So
Right. It was like the twists.
Yeah,
That's what it
there
was.
There needed to be some sort of mind-blowing, mind-bending fucking
Right.
twist,
That was it.
or else it was not. That movie didn't tell a complete story.
Right.
Every movie sucks in comparison to The Usual
That's
Suspects.
right.
Yeah. Or
Right.
Drake. That's what Owen says.
Yeah.
Everything-
Yes.
Yeah. Drake is the
Drake
one.
is the goat. Apparently.
That's
Yeah.
funny. That's
Yeah.
funny. No, but the cool thing, like so I was able to do that, and then we had local colleges that had radio stations, and I was able to basically pitched them while I was still in high school for me to get shows there. So it was kind of fun, like as a way to do that. Now this is what I'm doing.
I still want to know who among your cohorts would be the most likely to be having a podcast that is our competition right now.
I don't know that it's our competition, but I would love to have like a rivalry with another podcast.
That's what I'm saying. This person could
Well,
be that person.
we
You
could
don't
just-
know it yet. They could be out there listening right now going, I'm going to fucking take you down. And we're like, oh, shit, we
Well,
got an enemy.
Well, I think it's important actually to be honest with people out there that, this podcast is called What Are We Talking About?
And this
Now,
is what
there are other podcasts out there that have maybe a slightly similar title to their podcast.
or perhaps the exact same
Or
title
perhaps the same title, but not the ingenious hook that we have.
of the Popcorn Bowl.
Right? There's people out there who have, like, this is me starting a rivalry, but there are people out there whose podcast is called What Are We Talking About? And it's just like an aimless, we don't know what we're talking about. Here,
We are focused.
we've got a bowl. We have a popcorn bowl. It's ceramic, okay?
It may have been made by a ghost.
It may have been made by Demi Moore in a situation similar to Ghost.
I don't think so.
But I don't think other people are pulling pieces of paper out of popcorn bowls. I think that we're unique.
Does this mean we have to listen to all of them to find out what they're doing?
No, we
So
don't. It doesn't necessitate our time.
So it's like with dogs. If a dog doesn't see it, it doesn't happen.
I just want one of my ideas to be pulled from the bowl. That's all I want. One time.
I promise you next week I will magically, it's going to be my turn, I will pull one of your ideas from the
Yeah.
bowl.
Okay. Because I got some good ones in there.
I can't
It's good.
wait. I'm very
Yeah.
excited.
It's good ones.
But there are others out there. I think our show is way better. So if you are hosting a show that has a similar title to our show, we hate you and we'd like to start a rivalry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
hate's very strong.
not hate. So listen. So we asked the question: what was the 24-hour glory day moment from high school you'd want to revisit? Now here's the follow-up question: what is a 24-hour period from your high school days that you would never want to experience again? Do you know?
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You ready to go?
yeah.
Yeah.
Halloween, junior year.
You went right to it. You knew.
Yeah.
What year is this?
Let's see. I graduated in 92, so 91.
Okay.
Maybe we shouldn't take years because if I do so it was a little illegal, so maybe I
Yeah,
should
don't-
backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
You do that?
Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
So my buddies and I were, what you do on Halloween? You egg cars, and so we were egging.
I didn't
and
make cars.
I know, okay, but I mean, I didn't lead the charge. It was
They did it in
Oh, so
Can't
you
Buy
were
Me
a
Love.
follower is what you're saying.
it was most handsome Ted. He led the
that
charge.
sounds about right. 'Cause
And
he could get away with it because he just flashed a smile.
yeah, totally.
Yeah. Right.
So we were throwing a couple of eggs, and I did not throw it. I think my buddy Jason threw it. Threw it, hit a car. We heard it hit the car. Lights turn on. Cop car.
Oh, you hit a cop car.
Hit a cop car. So then all three of us start. No, there's four of us. I can't remember who the fourth one was. I cannot remember. No, I remember. No, I do remember who it was. We were running back to our buddy John Sweeney's house. One of them, I think it was John, basically broke his ankle. So then we had to carry him through the neighborhood to his house, and the whole time running from the cop car because the cop car did a U-turn in the middle of the grass and started chasing,
Oh, man.
trying to find out who egged the car. They did not catch us because we were fast.
Not yet. They haven't.
They have not. And my buddy's father was like a district attorney or something like that. I don't know what he was. But it was a very scary moment. We were hiding for about an hour in the garage, and then the cops stopped circling the neighborhood, and then we went back outside.
All right.
But it was pretty scary.
Okay.
That's one moment.
That's a scary moment.
That
I
is
can
a
imagine.
terrifying moment.
Do you know, Ben, what your moment would be?
I don't know if, like, is there one thing that happened that I would want to never?
It could be a regret.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. It's funny. Like, high school was all right. I mean, I was just kind of there.
Did you just say high school was aight?
It was all right.
Aight? Okay.
Well, you know, like, I know a lot of people hate high school. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I just sort of went through it because it was part of the journey and I had to. But I didn't have any, I can't off the top of my head recall any particularly low or overly embarrassing moments that, you know, or terrifying moments. Because again, I didn't egg cop cars. I didn't get out of line. I didn't do anything, you know, too stupid. I just went along, and there were no lows like that.
Okay.
So maybe one will come to me, but I don't have it right now.
So in my town, it was a small town. And so at the end of, any given day, you have one main street going through the town, not a lot of people out in their cars. I was in my car with a buddy of mine, and we come up to this stoplight at the edge of town, and this nondescript white van pulls up next to us. So I want to be that asshole, and I start revving my car engine, vroom, vroom, and they look over to me, and I point to them, and I point to myself, and I point down the road.
Oh my God.
And the light turns green, and we take off in my Volkswagen Rabbit. And the van is speeding after us. Like, it is, at first, we're racing, and then before long, they're not stopping. And we're in our car, and we're like, holy shit, what's going on? We are speeding. We're going like 70 miles an hour. The Rabbit could do it. It could hold on at 70. And this van is chasing us, and we're like going down roads, and like now we're freaking out. Like, what the fuck did we just do? We don't know who these people are. We are trying to lose them. We're going through different parts of neighborhoods. They've got us. And then eventually we get to a point where we go down a small street, and there's no way out.
Ooh.
And we pull into a driveway of a house thinking like, well, maybe we'll like let them, they'll think it's our house. And they pull the van behind us, and they block us in. And me and my buddy are sitting in the car, and we have locked the doors, and we're looking at each other, and we're fucking freaking out. And then this guy knocks on the, like, you see him walk past our car, and he goes to like the side of the house that we're parked in front, and he takes a hose, and he turns on the hose, and he opens the hood of his car, and he starts putting water in his car. His van was overheating, and we're like watching this go on, like, what is this? What is going on? And he was like, he was basically just told us like, well, my van was overheating, and so now I'm putting water in it. But I think like he was trying to scare the shit out of us. And then eventually when we got to that place, we didn't get out of the car. He put water in, and eventually he backed up, and he went on his way. But in that one moment of being in that driveway with the van blocking us in, I thought it was the end.
Oh,
but it wasn't.
that's scary.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
It's always a van. It's always a van, right?
So wait, so they were behind you the whole time.
Chasing us the whole time. The minute we sped out in front of them, then the race became a chase. And then the chase became a Blumhouse movie until it wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
You can't challenge guys in vans.
You can't fuck with people.
Can't do that.
I mean, in this town too, like in Los Angeles, like there are people in my family who drive who are not children who feel powerful enough to yell at people or point to people or give attitude to people. I think it's super dangerous.
By the way, I have had that conversation 10 times where I'm like, do not talk shit to someone else. Because unless you can really back it up, which you can't, I can promise you.
Yeah.
Don't talk shit to people because you don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. People feel you feel when you're in your car, you feel very protected.
Yeah.
But the reality is,
there's many a time where I'm on the road where I'm like, is this person going to just suddenly pull out a gun and just start shooting?
Well, it's just not worth it, right? Like it's just like I try to not, escalate that much,
right,
and get that upset. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So did that spark your memory?
No. All it did is make me realize that if I'm going to have to go back in time to high school, I got to go get in some trouble. I did not get into enough trouble in high school.
Did you never get suspended from school?
No.
I got suspended.
You did?
Yeah.
I never got suspended.
What'd you get suspended for?
A group of friends. We had a friend we were not getting along with, kind of like a rivalry or a feud. And
did they have their own podcast?
What's that?
They have a podcast.
They did not have a podcast or a radio show. And it was just horrible. Like in hindsight, I feel really bad that we did it. We ended up, remember that we basically used the computer to print out and write our own newspaper.
Okay.
And every article was basically about this person that we didn't like. And then we printed them out on the weekend, and we put them in everybody's lockers at high school.
Oh, no. You're like an 80s movie.
Oh, my God.
You're straight out of an 80s movie. You're an 80s villain. Was your collar popped?
No.
Are you sure? Were you wearing like a pink Izod?
I was not. But I remember my father drove me and my buddy to school, and he was like, what am I driving you here for? And we were like, we're just going to, we're putting this in people's lockers. And he was like, are you going to get in trouble for this? And we're like, nah, nothing's going to happen. And then we were suspended for 3 days.
Oh, man.
Wow. Who busted you?
Well, it's funny. Like these administrators are smart. Like they know how to freak the hell out of kids. Like they separate you, and then they get
story straight.
And the stories aren't straight. And then basically you find out, yes, you're responsible for this. And So between the principal and the vice principal, we got in trouble.
Wow.
I sort of had. I think I had a similar high school experience as you did. Like, I don't think I really. Only saying that, like, I didn't really. I was sort of, neither here nor there. Like, I just sort of went through it, and I didn't really have any like huge moments. I didn't peak in high school, right? Yeah. And then, like, when I got to college, that's when I sort of like came into my own, and like that's where I started having a lot of fun.
Getting in a lot of trouble.
No, I didn't get in a lot of trouble, but I just sort of like
Pushing the limits.
I just sort of figured out who I was, and
Well, of course.
yeah, and I just sort of, I don't know, I that's where I sort of, I think sort of grew into who I am now. Whereas like high school, I felt like I was a little bit of a different person then. I don't think I had a ton of confidence in high school. When I got to college, I was like, all right, I'm good. I know who I am.
Well, and it's also your first, really one of the few resets you get in life, right?
Yeah.
But it's funny, like people always say high school glory days, but actually I think more people probably have college glory days than they do high school glory days.
Depends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the sad part is when high school or college are the glory days, and that people don't look at that they can't look at their life as it is now and see that everything that they're living is the best part of life. Like I think we tend to romanticize the past because it is the time of for many, not all. I mean, some kids have a lot of responsibilities growing up, but for many kids don't have responsibilities. You're kind of getting to figure out who you are and what you want to be, and pushing those boundaries and those limits with minimal consequences, and then you get to life, and life kind of takes over, and you feel like, oh, that was just sort of this golden era, and it's like, nah, the golden era is whatever you make of it now. I think
what do you think if you at the end of today, the day is about to end, and someone in your life says, what was that one 35-minute moment from the day that you would relive again?
I'd say it's this podcast.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And what we've been talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
It's good, and it's just going to keep happening, right?
Hopefully weekly.
Week after week, the numbers will continue to ascend by 104. My gosh, I can't wait for 104.
The next episode will be 104.
104. I'm excited for 104.
I'm showing up every week until you pull one of my things out of the bowl. 100%.
And again, what's exciting is we don't know what it's going to be next week.
Yeah.
It might be one of yours, Mitch. It might be one of yours, Paul. It might be one of mine.
I think you're going to have fun with mine. I do.
I
went I didn't go Carpenter film. I went straight up mainstream, okay? It's not that Carpenter wasn't mainstream, but it was more... It's probably more in the Rocky flavor. A little bit of the David Keith flavor. It's all good. It's all going to all right there.
I have no idea what it's going to be, and neither do the people listening.
Yeah.
And that is why this show will succeed compared to the others.
Or all others that are talking about fail.
That's right.
One quick question before we wrap this up.
Sure.
How do we get to the others? Because I do want to actually just start a real intense rivalry.
We're going to identify all of the other podcasts. We're going to tweet at them. We're going to send packages to their houses.
Okay. Well, I didn't know we were doing all that.
Yeah,
okay.
we're gonna write things
Letter
about them.
campaign.
We're gonna do a letter writing campaign and put it in their
Quinnipiac
lockers.
polls.
It feels like you're going to put things in lockers.
I think we're going to put things in
That's
lockers.
not going to go well for us.
No,
You've learned nothing.
No, we should just have a disclaimer that we're not looking to create any real rivalries.
No.
Or conflicts.
No, we're just having a look
Maybe
at
auditory.
a healthy rivalry.
Healthy competition.
Yeah.
I'd like to foresee and envision someday there will be What Are We Talking About con, and we can all coexist there peacefully.
Will you play at the con? Perhaps will you
our theme song.
will you get Arena back together?
An arena reunion?
An arena reunion.
I know where 3 of the 4 of us are. I have to find the 4th.
Okay, we know what we're doing next week.
Paul can jump in. He can sing.
We're gonna.
Yeah, he can.
That is true. I've heard it.
Well, then, until 104, it's Paul.
It's Ben.
It's Mitch.
And this is What We Were Talking About.